America was Martin Luther King. Because when he went to Birmingham, 50,000 people went with him. And that the collusion or collaboration of liberal institutions and liberal classes with the power elite, which they think mistakenly was a way to influence power, saw them disempowered. And that holding fast to those moral imperatives, even if everything around you appears to deteriorate, and is finally sustained by faith. Faith that it's worthwhile, faith that it's worth doing, faith that it's meaningful, even if you can't see any tangible results. I speak a little bit from personal experience because having been in war zones, I have seen acts of resistance that within the wider scheme of the war are rendered futile. And yet they resonate with a palpable power when everything is stripped down in war that is undeniable. I write in War is a Force That Gives Us Meaning about a Muslim farmer, Fazil Fadic, who lived in Gorazda, which was one of the safe areas in Bosnia during the war. And I heard about Fazil Fadic from a Serbian couple, Rosa and Drago Sorak, who had, like many ethnic Serbs, remained within the Muslim enclave at the inception of the war, not joined Radovan Karadic's nationalist forces. And the story they told me was that while living in Gorazda, they had two sons, Zoran, who lived with them with his wife, and another son who went and fought for the Bosnian Serbs. He was eventually killed in a car crash. Finally, as things got worse and worse within the enclave, constant shelling, food shortages, the Muslim police came and took Zoran away as a Serb, and he was disappeared, executed. They never found his body. Zoran's wife was pregnant, and she gave birth to an infant girl, but she couldn't breastfeed the child. And so the infant began to die. The family was feeding the infant weak cups of tea to try and keep it alive. On the 10th day, Fazil Fadic, an illiterate Muslim farmer, knocked on the door and handed at dawn the Soraks a liter of milk. He had 3 great brown and white milk cows that he could only milk at night because of the sniper fire. And he came back the next morning, and the morning after that, and the morning after that, and the morning after that, until everyone on that street and everyone in that apartment building knew that this Muslim farmer was giving milk, which of course was worth tremendous amounts of money, to keep a Serb infant alive. And they began to spit on him and insult him and tell him to let the Chetnik children die and give the milk to the Muslim children. And through it all, he kept coming and coming and coming until the Soraks were able to leave Gorazda. I heard that story from the Soraks, who said, "We hate the Muslims. We hate them for killing our son, Zoran. And yet it is our duty to tell you that not all Muslims are bad." I went and found Fadic. His 3 cows had been slaughtered for the meat. His apartment building had been turned into rubble from the shelling. He was sleeping on a concrete floor on pieces of newspaper with other men. They were gathering worm-eaten apples from an orchard and sitting out on the sidewalk trying to sell them. And when I found him and told him that I had seen the Soraks, the first thing he said to me, "And the baby, how is she?" What in the grand scheme of war is that action? For me, it throws out an ocean of hope that ripples outward across a culture that's gone insane. He provided through his courage another narrative, another way to be. That little girl who may never meet him will grow up and know that she's alive as a Serb because of a Muslim farmer. In the scheme of the war, it's nothing, yet in the scheme of life, it's everything. And I think when you talk about acts of resistance, especially in moments of extreme deprivation and suffering and violence, actions like that become, as Auden said, the ironic points of light that flash out. Defenseless under the night, our world in stupor lies, yet dotted everywhere, ironic points of light flash out, wherever the just exchange their messages. May I, composed like them of eros and of dust, beleaguered by the same negation and despair, show an affirming flame. Thank you.